Good day, everyone. Welcome to ExcelInnovationTutorial. Today we'll be taking the first mathematics. Our mathematics class, we cover SS1 to SS3 syllabus, work syllabus, and then JAM syllabus. Today we'll be taking the first topic, which is algebraic processes. But to start with, what is mathematics? Mathematics involves principles and methods of applying figures and numbers, and sometimes alphabet, because we major on the use of numbers and alphabet, and mathematics involve the use of numbers and alphabets and symbols. So we now look at the principles and the method. That's why I underline principles and method, because we have to look at the principle and the method. The principle behind all these number, figures, and alphabet. Then the method of applying to our various endeavors in life, because everything we learn in class, by the time we get outside the class, we have to apply. There's a place of application. So in our today's class, we are starting with the first topic, which is algebraic processes. Algebraic processes is the operation of numbers, which is subdivided into 5. The first one is square of a number. A number multiplied, when we say square of a number, that means a number multiplied by itself 2 times. That's what I mean by square of a number. A number that is multiplied by itself, that same number multiplied by itself twice. That's what we mean by a square of a number. An example is on the board, as you can see. A square of 2 is 2 raised to power 2. Then that is, you multiply 2 by 2. Then 2 by 2, that is 2 multiplied by 2, that will give us 4. Then we have square of 3, that's 3 multiplied by 3, that will give us 9. That is what we mean by square of a number. A number you multiply by itself twice. That is what we call the square of a number. That is what we also known as operation of numbers. Then the second one there, because I said it is subdivided into 5. So the second one there is cube of a number. When we say cube of a number, cube means a number raised to the power of 3. Any number in mathematics raised to the power of 3 is what we call cube of a number. And a number multiplied by itself 3 times, just as we said in the other one, which is a square of number. That one is a number multiplied by itself 2 times. But this cube of number is a number multiplied by itself 3 times. And example is also here. We have 3, that is 3 cube. And that is 3 by 3 by 3. And that will give us 27. Then we also have 4 cube. That is 4 by 4 by 4. When I say by 4, I mean multiply. 4 multiplied by 4 multiplied by 4 will give us 64. Then we have cube of 5. That is 5 multiplied by 5 multiplied by 5 3 times. And that is 125. The third one is square of root. Square of root. Root is a number which, when multiplied by itself 2 times, gives a particular number. When we say root, actually we should know in mathematics that 2 and square is a perfect root, because we don't have 2 at the back of root. But other number, but let me put it this way, that a square root, a square of number is start. So the square root is a number multiplied by, a number when multiplied by itself 2 times gives a particular number. And the example is square root of 4. Square root of 4 is 2, because 2 multiplied by 2 will give us 4. So we say the root of that 4 is 2. And when we're working on this square root, we have to understand that number, by the time you go for the root of that number you get must be multiplied by itself twice, and must give you the number under the root. Just like this 4 now. The root of 4 is 2. So this 2 now, I multiply this 2 twice to give me 4. So I think you understand. Then we move to the second one. This is root of 9. That is, root of 9 is 3. So I have to multiply 3 by 3 twice to give me root of 9. Then we have root of 16. Root of 16 is 4. Usually when we say, okay, let me explain something here. This square root of 16, I will say, is 4. We have other multiple of number that we can still multiply together to give us 16. But that number will not be perfect square, because it is only 4 you will multiply by itself that will give us 16. So that's how we say it is a square root.